Long ago, in the land of Canaan, there lived a noble prophet named Jacob, peace be upon him. He was a man of great wisdom and righteousness, chosen by Allah to guide his people. Among his 12 sons, one stood out, the young and handsome Joseph, peace be upon him. Yousaf was not only beautiful in appearance but also in character, possessing a pure heart filled with sincerity and faith. His father loved him dearly, seeing in him the light of divine favor. One night, young Yousaf had a dream that would change the course of his life forever. He rushed to his father and said, "O my father, I have seen 11 stars, the sun, and the moon prostrating to me." Prophet Yaqub understood that this was not an ordinary dream. It was a sign from Allah that Yousaf was destined for greatness. However, knowing the jealousy that brewed in the hearts of Yousaf's brothers, Yaqub warned him, "O my son, do not tell your dream to your brothers, lest they plot against you." Chapter 2. The brothers' jealousy and betrayal. Yousaf's brothers were already envious of him because of their father's deep love for him. They could not bear that Yousaf was preferred over them. Their hearts darkened with jealousy, and they conspired to get rid of him. One day, they approached their father with a plan. "O our father," they said, "why do you not trust us with Yousaf while we are strong and capable? Send him with us tomorrow so he may play and enjoy himself." Yaqub, hesitant and fearful, said, "I fear that a wolf might devour him while you are not paying attention." But the brothers assured him, and reluctantly, Yaqub allowed Yousaf to go with them. As soon as they were away, the brothers took Yousaf to a deep well and heartlessly threw him inside. "Now our father will love us instead," they thought. To cover their crime, they slaughtered a goat and stained Yousaf's tunic with its blood. Then, with fake sorrow, they returned home and told their father. A wolf devoured him. Prophet Yaqub, heartbroken and devastated, knew deep down that something was amiss. He wept bitterly but placed his trust in Allah. Chapter 3. The Journey to Egypt. Meanwhile, Yousaf remained in the dark well, alone and frightened. But he did not despair, for he had faith that Allah was with him. Soon, a caravan of travelers passed by, and when they drew water from the well, they discovered the young boy. "What a treasure!" they exclaimed, deciding to take him to Egypt and sell him as a slave. In Egypt, Yousaf was bought by a nobleman, Al-Aziz, the chief minister of the pharaoh. Seeing Yousaf's intelligence and beauty, Al-Aziz treated him well and raised him in his household. His wife, Zuleika, was also mesmerized by Yousaf's charm. Chapter 4. The Trial of Zuleika. As Yousaf grew into a handsome and righteous young man, Zuleika became infatuated with him. One day, she attempted to seduce him, but Yousaf, being a prophet of Allah, resisted. He turned away and said, "I seek refuge in Allah. Indeed, my master has been good to me. I will not betray his trust." Zuleika, humiliated and furious, accused Yousaf of wrongdoing to protect her own reputation. As a result, Yousaf was unjustly imprisoned despite his innocence. Chapter 5. The Prison and the Gift of Dream Interpretation. Even in prison, Yousaf remained patient and faithful to Allah. His wisdom and kindness earned him the respect of his fellow prisoners. 2 of them came to him, seeking the interpretation of their dreams. One said, "I saw myself pressing wine." The other said, "I saw myself carrying bread on my head, and birds were eating from it." Yousaf, with the divine knowledge granted to him, interpreted their dreams. He told the first man that he would soon serve the king again, while the other would be executed. His interpretations came true exactly as he had foretold. Before the first man left, Yousaf asked him, "Mention me to the king, so I may be freed." But the man forgot, and Yousaf remained in prison for many years. Chapter 6. The King's Dream and Yousaf's Release. One night, the king of Egypt had a troubling dream. He saw 7 fat cows being devoured by 7 lean ones and 7 green ears of grain alongside 7 dry ones. No one could interpret the dream until the man who had once been in prison with Yousaf remembered him. Yousaf was summoned, And he explained, "You will have 7 years of prosperity, followed by 7 years of famine. Store grain wisely during the good years, so you may survive the hard times." The king was amazed by Yusuf's wisdom and integrity. He not only freed him but appointed him as the treasurer of Egypt. Chapter 7. Reunion with his brothers. As Yusuf had predicted, famine struck the land, including Canaan, where his family lived. His brothers, now desperate for food, traveled to Egypt to seek help. They did not recognize Yusuf, but he recognized them immediately. Yusuf tested them by keeping one of his brothers, Benjamin, with him. He then revealed his identity, saying, "I am Yusuf, your brother. Allah has been merciful to us." The brothers, filled with guilt and shame, begged for forgiveness. Chapter 8. The reunion with his father. Overwhelmed with joy, Yusuf sent for his father, Prophet Yaqub. When the news reached Yaqub, he cried tears of happiness. Despite years of sorrow, he had never lost faith in Allah's mercy. When he arrived in Egypt, Yusuf embraced him with deep love and respect. As a final sign of Allah's fulfillment of Yusuf's dream, his father and brothers bowed before him in gratitude, not as worship, but as a symbol of honor. The dream he had seen as a child had finally come true. Chapter 9. The Legacy of Yusuf. Yusuf lived the rest of his life as a noble and wise ruler, guiding Egypt with justice and righteousness. He forgave his brothers completely, showing that patience, faith, and forgiveness triumph over all hardships. His story remains one of the greatest examples of perseverance, trust in Allah, and the power of destiny. Through every trial and tribulation, Yusuf never lost hope, and in the end, he was raised to greatness, just as Allah had promised. Thus, the life of Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, continued